about a year ago with my mom, who's not here, Catherine Maria. She's in California doing a master's of real estate. So hopefully she's supporting us and being our Puerto Rican ambassador over there. But we started this originally to bring value to the community here, bring some transparency. Everyone knows Mr. Christopher LaRue. Raise your hand. Everyone knows Christopher Rivera. Christopher LaRue always knows about the MLS. He always talks about how there's definitely an MLS on the island. The problem is we don't really use it that much. Is we use clasificados a lot more, and that's for various reasons. But the point is we try to center and have all the resources in one place. So we have these WhatsApp groups. We have a Facebook group.
Sorry, I heard my name.
This is Christopher LaRue, everyone. So the whole point is to bring value and transparency, and to try to network and partner, and ideally do some collaborate on some projects. So I want to thank Base Co-working Space, by the way. We really appreciate having this space. Being able to, thank you. If anyone wants to rent a space here, reach out and we can give a little tour and everything. I think Morella isn't here right now, but we can definitely connect you with her. So if you want to stay here and use the co-working space, I know Michael, you use this co-working space, right? It's pretty good. Yeah. We also want to thank Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for signing everyone in and doing all that. We really appreciate it. Is anyone here for the first time tonight? Who's here for the first time tonight? Raise your hand. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Who here is investing on the island? Who here is investing in Puerto Rico right now? Right. Awesome. Perfect. All right, so behind me you might see some things. We're selling a house in Barceloneta, 4-bedroom, 2-bath for $130. We'd be open to seller financing, and we're pretty flexible in terms. So if you're looking to get a house, rental, Barceloneta, we'd definitely be able to talk. So come up to me and we can work that out. We also have a house in Villa Palmeras. If anyone knows Villa Palmeras, it's really close by. It's a fourplex. You can get really cheap. Also seller financing. If you want details on that, come up to me and we'll talk more about it. Agendas for tonight. So we're going to go do this announcements a little bit more, and then we're going to do the market report. Mr. Christopher Rivera is going to do the market report for us. It's really important to try to stay on top of things as the market's adapting and changing so quickly. So hopefully that can bring some information for everyone. After that, we're going to have forced networking. Really quick, I know everyone enjoyed the networking. We're going to do that really quick again. And then Robbie Krager, who isn't here yet, but he's going to talk about Opportunity Zone funds. So if you want to hear more about that, he'll share. And then we have our special guest, Mr. Cherif Medawar, who I'm really excited about. And then we'll have needs and wants, and we'll be finished. How's that sound, everyone?
All right, yeah, cool.
Next month, we have Jonah Dew talking with Infinite Banking, how to become your own bank. This will be on the third Thursday due to Thanksgiving. So everyone remember, third Thursday next month because of Thanksgiving. How many decree holders that need to donate for 2022 are here? How many Act 22 decree holders? Anyone need to donate? Well, if you would like to support us, you can go to REIA Rico, scroll down to memberships on the main page. You'll be redirected to Global Focus, our nonprofit affiliate. This means if you donate to REIA Rico, this counts as a tax-deductible donation for both IRS and Puerto Rican tax authorities, and for your Act 60. And if you just want to support us and become a member, it's $249. It includes a lunch and learns, deal makers breakfast, trade and exchange meetings, monthly meetings, all the archived video that Don is videoing for us right now, discounts for events and tours, access to the WhatsApp group, podcast, and YouTubes. If you're an annual supporter, you can now view all the prior meetings and lunch and learns on the member-only section. We're going to have the PR Investor Mastermind in January 23rd through the 27th. So we do this bus tour every 6 months. So a new lineup of amazing speakers, experts teaching about investing in Puerto Rico, businesses, and real estate with a bus tour to the east side of the island to preview actual projects and a deep dive with attorneys and CPAs to get questions answered about structuring, setting up funds, opportunity zones, and tax advantages. Early bird pricing is $9.97, and the price will be going up, so reserve your seats now. Last time we had about 40 people going. By the way, REIA Rico annual supporters get a 10% discount on that. So, who's been to the bus tour? A couple people have been to the bus tours, right? We always have these deal makers Saturday morning meetings at 7:30. Who's been to the deal makers meetings? Anyone? We're having them right now at Aceland Mortgage in Otto Ray. Thank you, Bill Halleck. We appreciate you helping us out and hosting us there every Saturday. It's been great. So it's totally free for annual supporters, but it is $10. And it includes a light breakfast snacks, coffee, and fantastic networking. I think we're going to be having a $3 parking charge. But yeah, it's an Otto Ray Midtown Offices condo. So if you need more info about that, reach out to me or Mr. Bill Halleck in the back. So we're going to have Mr. Christopher Rivera do the market report. Christopher Rivera has spent the last few years in licensed realtor with eXp Realty, specializing in multi-million-dollar properties, housing developments, and commercial real estate. He's also an ambassador for Philanthro Investor and Crypto Realty Group. He's born and raised in Puerto Rico and joins us tonight with a market report on what's going on in Puerto Rico.
Good evening. Wake up. Seriously now. Do you have a clicker? Or yes? Well, I'm going to just give you a few news of what's going on in Puerto Rico, things that I think are related to real estate here. There we go. Puerto Rico is ready for tourism and return after Hurricane Fiona. Speaking on the lasting effects due to Hurricane Fiona, Discover Puerto Rico, let me move. Discover Puerto Rico CEO Brad Dean stressed any conversation about tourism secondary to a discussion about the human impact of Hurricane Fiona. However, Dean is anticipating a relative quick rebound compared to Hurricane Maria. Obviously, Hurricane Maria was something else. From the visitor's standpoint, Puerto Rico beaches, restaurants, attractions, and accommodations are ready to welcome all. From January through, second slide, from January through the July on this year, Puerto Rico visitors numbers were outpacing the first half of 2019 and 2021. Visitors were staying longer and spending more according to them. The island was tracking towards a record year in tourism until Fiona happened. So we were doing very good in tourism, Fiona happened, and obviously tourism went down. From January to July, I read that. Next one. In another news, the cost of doing business in Puerto Rico threatens the economy. At the time when the island business sector was suffering an increase in its operating expenses as a result of the spiraling inflation, the cost of doing business in Puerto Rico continues to threaten the country's business, said Manuel Sidre. Sidre assured that among the factors making it more expensive to establish and maintaining a business on the island are the high cost of energy, the difficulty in obtaining permits, access to economic incentives, and employees training. And we that have to do with permits know the difficulty in Puerto Rico. Okay, here we go. A big threat, and the governor is very aware of it, is the cost of doing business in Puerto Rico. Many times we believe that the cost of doing business in Puerto Rico are specialized conditions. But the cost of doing business impacts, among many other things, permitting processes, access to economic incentive, workforce training, talent retention, the cost of energy, and why not, the cost of labor. So those are the things that are making business in Puerto Rico a little bit harder. Whoever does business in Puerto Rico knows this. In another news, companies consider availability of human capital before coming to Puerto Rico. Companies considering the possibility of moving to Puerto Rico and establish their manufacturing operations are expressing a strong interest on the availability of the trained labor force. During the recent Buyer International Conference, more than 100 Puerto Ricans with PhD degrees and living in the US came to her and expressed their excitement about all the opportunities that could be developed in the island in the bioscience industry. These are people that, given the opportunity, are willing to come back to Puerto Rico. And we need this in Puerto Rico, and we hope this happens. The most critical factor in attracting and retaining new businesses to Puerto Rico is the availability of the trained workforce, says Ida. Questions about the confirmed migration of the 100,000 Puerto Ricans in the US over the last 10 years, a significant number of them highly trained professionals, she said, in West Puerto Rico, is committed to promote the opportunities that are currently being created to bring them back. Nevertheless, Wharton pointed out that needed to continue strengthening our labor force in order for it to be prepared to meet the demands of the future. Wharton did admit that the island still faces specific challenges that need to be overcome in order to increase its competitiveness, but assured Invest Puerto Rico is working with the government and with the private sector on identifying possible solutions. And here's the real estate. One of those challenges is the ability of industrial real estate to establish new operations. I have to speak with Invest Puerto Rico. They're trying to bring pharmaceuticals and manufacturing to Puerto Rico. And I said, why you don't give me the list of those people and let me talk to them so I can buy the properties? And we cannot do that. The properties need to be ready in Puerto Rico before we can offer them. So there is a few warehouses or a few places where manufacturers can move, but they're limited. There's a huge opportunity to buy big spaces and offer it to these manufacturers who want to go to Puerto Rico. Should I put something here?
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you believe those facilities need to be in proximity to ports like San Juan or Maya West?
Yes.
For it to make sense?
Or Guadilla or Ponce.
Well, they are.
Yes. The more facilities you have, the more attractive it is for the manufacturers or buyer. Also, the kind of building and construction. Some of them needs to be clean buildings, which is something that they are requesting. They don't have to be finalized, but they need to be kind of ready for them to move fast. If it's going to take 2 years, they're not going to consider it.
But there's a lot of opportunity in Vega Baja,
Toda Cataño.
and the north where the highways are,
Close
that,
enough.
that you can get a truck back and forth from the ports very easily, and there's lots of facilities that have been run down, that it's just basically a shell. And with a little bit of investment, it can be renovated and then
Yep.
presented to one of these companies.
El Ponce, Santa Isabel, near the port of Ponce. All those places are very good for these opportunities, definitely. Companies considering, okay, I read that already, sorry. Here's a forecast of the Fannie Mae interest and what's going on with housing interest. This is the first time mortgage interest doubled in the history in 1 year. 2021 was 3%, 2022 was 5.4%, and the expectation of 2023 is 6.4% average around the whole year. Some people say that it might go up to 9%. Should go back 2%, 2.5%. What happened a few years ago is not normal, but it's going to make more challenging for low-income people to buy homes because of the interest rate. And the next one, Zach, please. It's another forecast, rapidly raising rates and declining demand driving to housing market slowdown. And here it shows a 30 years PMMS by quarter in 2021, 22, 23. And the comparison between 2020, which was 3.1 versus 5.4 in 2022. In 2021 was 3, and the expectation for 2023 is 6.4. So that's what is going on, what is happening right now in the interest, mortgage interest. And the last news, the next one, I repeat that one. ExxonMobil enters the Puerto Rican market. Sol Puerto Rico Limited, which until recently operated a network of 177 Shell-branded gasoline stations around the island, formalized a licensing agreement with ExxonMobil to convert its Shell stations into mobile brand. So they didn't come to Puerto Rico, the company in Puerto Rico just changed franchise. The agreement with ExxonMobil consists of the distribution of mobile brands, fuel products in Sol Services station networks after an extensive process of evaluating alternatives. Sol decided not to renew the agreement with Shell and went with Mobile Exxon. That is my analysis. Thank you very much. Have a good night. I missed this one. Sorry.
¿Cuál fue el mensaje del cambio de Shell a Mobil?
Ellos cambiaron la franquicia porque no quisieron renovar con Shell. Hay un acuerdo, no llegaron a unos acuerdos, decidieron no renovar.
Okay. ¿Qué significa eso?
Para nosotros es una marca nueva y con nuevos productos. Para ellos simplemente cambiar el nombre de la... Es la misma compañía, correcto. Sorry. He's asking me what's the difference between mobile insurance. It's only the franchise of their products. It's the same gas company. Now, this is a report that I requested from CDBG. This is the amount of R3 vouchers that are in Puerto Rico without, available. There is 153 vouchers of 145,000, 1,857 of 160,000, 15 of 170, 316 of 185,000, and 138 of $200,000. This is an opportunity. We were talking a little bit in the back there. If you find the right property at the right price, you can flip it, and you're willing to wait until they pay you, which is the problem we have in Puerto Rico. They take it between 4 and 6 months to pay you. But it's secure money. Just a matter of waiting for the closing. And then that will be all. Thank you.
All right, guys, good stuff. Forced networking, that's the next stage of what we're gonna do. So I need to ask for a favor. once we split up, it's hard to like get everyone back. So if I release you, can we come back when I ask in like 15 minutes? Can we agree to that? Yay. All right. So for 15 minutes, if you have your name tag, we're gonna go by the color. So if you can see little pieces of paper, green, I can't read over there, blue maybe, purple. So go in that area and network with people. We're gonna ask a question. What's your favorite thing about investing in real estate? All right, so our headline speaker, guys, are we ready? I first came to Puerto Rico. I didn't visit here at all. I come here, I was going to move here, and I go to Old San Juan, and I'm looking around, and I see all these signs. Yeah, these yellow and blue signs. Cherif Medawar, for sale, Cherif Medawar, for sale, Cherif Medawar. I'm like, who is this guy? I thought he was, like Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, like a conglomerate or something, not a real person. But I connected with Cherif Medawar, and I went to his office in Old San Juan, and I was like, how many properties do you own? What percentage of Old San Juan do you own? And he did a calculation really quick, and he was like 4.5% of Old San Juan. This man owns. So obviously he's doing something right. Obviously, I think that's a measure of success right there. If you want to do commercial real estate in Old San Juan, you're going to need to talk to Cherif at some point, or you should. So Cherif Medawar is an investor, a fund manager, and an educator. He's the largest owner of commercial historic properties in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico since 2004. He has authored some best-selling RE investment books and continued to share his methods and programs to the education company since 1998. Let's welcome Cherif Medawar.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you having me here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm curious to know how many people saw my signs? Just curious.
What's up?
Okay, good, very good. Thank you. So I came to Puerto Rico actually originally because I was vice president with Hilton Hotels and I was in charge of the casino division. So wherever Hilton was going to lose their management contracts with an owner, they would send me as the troubleshooter. All I did was I shot trouble. Whoever was a troublesome manager or whatever, I'll just adjust the hotels. And then I saw Old San Juan, fell in love with it. It's the oldest historic zone under U.S. flag. What caught my attention is someone mentioned to me when I was the first time there, it was 1998, and he said there are a lot of tax incentives here, but I don't know what they are. And like a lot of things in Puerto Rico, it's like a mystery. You hear something, but you don't get the details. You go to professionals, they kind of, one person tells you one thing, the other says something else, because there are so many incentives and so many things going on. So fast forward, I went to California and I was buying, selling properties in 2002. My tax bill was over $1 million. California, it's very easy to make money. You don't need a brain. You just need to buy a property, put it back for sale, or do something with it. You're going to sell it for more. I can tell you, I've never seen a place like the state of California in terms of money. But also they tax you so much, you pay over 50% tax when you're a flipper because you're a dealer. So I thought, you know what, maybe God sent me to Puerto Rico for a reason. I need to go back and see what the tax incentives are. And I had left the hotel business because I was making so much money, I was looking to buy hotels at the time. So I came back to Puerto Rico and I started kind of searching what are the tax incentives in Old San Juan. This is way before the Act 60, Act 20, Act 22. It was actually end of 2003. And I realized through a complete chance, if you will, through a retired judge, when I took him to lunch and he drank the whole bottle of wine as I was drinking Perrier. Then he leaned over, he said, I like you, I'm going to tell you the best kept secret on this island. I said, okay, tell me. He said, in Old San Juan, the buildings have no property taxes and the income is tax-free. It is the only place on planet Earth where a US citizen can have tax-free income. I remember I had to catch a flight at 3 p.m. It was 1:15. We barely had dessert. I ran, took a taxi. I'm trying to process what he said. As the plane took off and I came closer to God, it came to me. Oh my God, I can actually become resident of Puerto Rico, buy a building in Old San Juan, maintain its historic integrity, and I can legally route my profits and income to Old San Juan. So I can buy luxury properties in Pacific Heights, San Francisco for $2, $3, $4 million, improve it for a couple million, sell it for another couple million profit, and route the profit through Puerto Rico legally. It's US to US from one pocket to the other. But there are some things I had to do, and those things were, I had to become resident of Puerto Rico, which I did in 2004, and I had to block the space and make it a lease for my company. That actually the headquarters became Puerto Rico. Fast forward, as I was growing much faster in California, and I was fixing, like the property I had bought was 255 Tanca. Actually, this is my website. Here, this was the first property I bought, CREPR, like Commercial Real Estate Puerto Rico, CREPR.com. You'll see all my inventories, about 100 million of properties down there. But the thing is, this was my first property, had 2 commercial, 1 residential. I made it my home and my office, and I would come back and forth between California and here. And then I started seeing opportunities. I realized that the cruise ships dock, and people walk up the streets of Old San Juan trying to shop, but a lot of the buildings were not finished, were not done. Nobody had fixed them, and there were small shops, and nobody was like really investing in the area. So I started saying, well, this is amazing. I can actually bring big tenants, and one of the programs I do is I actually get buildings, like usually vacant, under contract, usually like retail buildings that are vacant. Let's say it's $1 million building. I get it under contract at $800,000 because it's vacant. I start smiling and dialing these big tenants like, Burger King, Jack in the Box, all these big tenants, and I tell them, would you be interested in a space? If you come in, I'll rehab it for you for $100,000, sign a 10, 15-year lease with me. When these big tenants come into these buildings, the value of the building shoots through the sky. Like the 800,000 building, when I get a tenant to pay me, let's say, $8,000 per month, 8,300 or so, it's like 100,000 a year, the building becomes a 6% cap. Like the building becomes worth 1.6 million. You can become very wealthy in a very short period of time doing this. Over and over and over, I was like a machine. Like I would go to sleep, my feet would go like this. Morning, I start smiling and dialing, I start getting other buildings. I was doing it in California, Florida, all over. And I found here, I had traffic, like there is no traffic. I mean, you don't even need parking spaces. The cruise ships would dock and drop thousands of people, credit card at hand, trying to shop. And there was no place to shop. So needless to say, I started buying these buildings, mixed-use buildings. Downstairs retail, I brought Puma, I bought Coach, I bought Burberry, I brought Sunglass Hut. I mean, practically all the big tenants you see in Old San Juan and so many other buildings, I worked hard to bring them. I have a full team. I have in-house attorneys, in-house CPA, full team of accountants, full team of construction. It's just a full operation. And the key thing is it helped the area because now other people started seeing me fix the building. So what did they do as well? They started fixing buildings. So the whole thing started improving, and more people got employed, and bigger tenants came. And I noticed that even in 2009, when the economy dropped, what happened was, even in San Francisco, the market there dropped like 20%. Some other parts of the United States dropped 30 and 40%. The island dropped by 50%. I actually have a statistic I can show you by market. From 2010 to 2018, the market dropped 48% in Puerto Rico. If anybody doesn't believe me, you can shoot me an email. You can go to crepr.com. You'll see my email, my phone number. I'm the easiest person to reach in the world. Same number for 25 years. And I will send you that statistic because people ask me, why do banks not want to loan people here? Because they keep referring to a drop in the market of 50% in 8 years. People don't realize how sensitive this market is. And at that time, it dropped. But Old San Juan remained intact. Why? Because the cruise ships coming from Miami, and you can call these companies called PPI and Onboard Media, which are the promoters for the cruise ships in Miami, which is the biggest center in the world for promoting cruise ships. I called them and I said, the whole United States and Puerto Rico are devastated. How come Old San Juan is different? And you keep sending the ships full of people. And they said, all we did was we dropped our prices in half. Our average ticket was $633. Now average ticket is $330. So I was like, wow. Why? Because the cruises make money when they dock somewhere with all the actual stores that promote with them. So it's more important for them not to lose the staff, which is international staff from Philippines, India, Europe, etc. They don't want to lose the staff, so they don't want to dock the ships. They just filled up the ships with very low prices, and they would come to Old San Juan, which is the best place to pick up the passengers from, because nobody needs a passport to start the trip here. So Old San Juan continued, and that's when I realized, oh my God, I got to go all in. Plus the IRS also made me, helped me make the decision, because I was now routing legally so many millions every year that my CPA in Silicon Valley in Santa Clara, close to San Francisco, south of San Francisco, said to me, okay, the IRS is going to inquire, you're sending so much money for office space. I mean, how much office space do you need? I said, well, I need a lot of space. You don't understand, I need space. So he said, yeah, but you're leasing to your California properties, making the money. It's spending the expense for lease out of California, so there's no federal or state tax, it's an expense. It comes to Puerto Rico as a lease in a historic building, and it comes to you tax-free. The IRS is saying, what the heck is going on? What are the comparable rents? Hence, my purchase of the largest inventory of historic buildings, because I bought, like on Cristo Street, 12 buildings. So I became my own comparable rent. So in the United States, if you understand the system and you work the system, you'll make money. If you don't understand the system, you find those who don't understand the system complain about the system and get very frustrated. So I spend a lot of time understanding the system, and I have an education company, as you heard Zachary say, and I've been teaching people for 22 years how to make money. Now, it just has been my passion. Like some people give money, donation to the church, some people give, I don't know. I like to give knowledge. And when I give my knowledge, I give my time. So I started sharing, I have on YouTube, I have for free like 2,000 videos. 2,000 video success stories. People invested with me in my real estate funds. My real estate fund usually does most of the work in California. And that's a whole other story, and I'll take questions on that. But the point is, that's why I came here. Unfortunately for me, when they put the 2012 tax incentives of Act 60, where people could come in, buy properties, get income tax-free, sell properties with capital gain tax-free, it doesn't apply to me, I cannot get that, but I can't complain. I'm happy to have been here. I'm actually amazed of the people that came in before me, or after me, I'm sorry, and they get better tax incentives, etc. And if anybody feels like, oh my God, just came for tax incentives, I studied the tax incentives of Puerto Rico. In 1815, Spain, to attract people to come to Puerto Rico, and you can verify this, there was 100,000 people on the island, and they wanted to bring people here, so they created an actual tax incentive, telling people, we will give you land, and for 15 years, no taxes, and if you have kids, we'll give you extra money, and if you do this, we'll give you no taxes on the properties. So the tax incentives have been very smart and a way to attract people to come here, so long as they're good people, respect the land, respect what's happening, its heritage, like I have done by investing, not just putting money, but putting love in these historic buildings. So, and sadly for me, I fell in love with these buildings. Like I decided to sell a couple of them, and the first one I sold, I ended up crying. Now, I don't get emotional, but it's like, I spent so much money on this building, it's so beautiful, and that's like, I was telling my staff we sold it and stuff, and all of a sudden I'm tearing up, and they were like so surprised. But they know I get emotional about money. So, so I came here, thank you for the invitation. Catherine invited me and Zachary, and we met in the office. I met Robbie Krager also, just a wonderful group of people, and every person I met, I learned from. Like, I don't think I know it all. I do know that Old San Juan has been the best area for me to invest in. It has been so good, and as I mentioned to you, just to give you an example, what I've done, for example, I took 211 Cristo. If you can scroll down a little bit, show you, here it is, 211 Cristo. You can click on it here if you want. So 211 Cristo, that property, just to give you an idea, I bought it in 2006 for $3.5 million. By the way, this is the most expensive area, except for Dorado Homes. Those are very expensive. For example, if you just scroll down a little bit, if you don't mind, scroll down. You can stop. I'm going to scroll up. I'm sorry. Scroll up, and then if you can make it bigger. Thank you, sir. So this building, for example, I bought it at $3.5 million. Downstairs retail, second floor was office. It was Reebok, the tenant that was there. but they had just left, so it was vacant. And there is a penthouse, you don't see it from here, but it's actually a 3-floor penthouse with beautiful views of the bay. And I remember calling the owner, which his name is Vadim Nikitin. He owns like many shopping malls here. And I called him and I said, are you interested in selling? And he said, I want 3.6 million. It's non-negotiable. Don't waste my time if you don't have the money. So tell me right now or I'm going to hang up because I'm a very busy guy. One of those conversations. Now, I do a flinch. Like usually when somebody gives me a price, I react like, what? So when he said 3.6 million, I said, 3.6 million? And he reacted to me and said, are you calling me to buy or to cry? It was not easy. So I said, okay. I'll tell you what, 3.5 million. I want to put it under contract. I'll give you 50,000 right away, right now, non-refundable. Let's make it happen. He said, look, you don't need to give me 50. You can give 5,000. We'll put it under contract. We'll take it from there. But I need a quick close. I need a close 40 days, not more. I said, okay, put it under contract. And I literally have on my website like the contract. So I went on the contract, started filling out the stuff, sent it to him. He has attorneys in his office, responded within an hour. I literally sat in the cafe, you see it's coming through. On the cafe right next to the thing, and I started smiling and dialing and calling different tenants. I called Adidas, I called Puma, I called so many companies, and I took a little cruise with my wife. When I came back, it was one day, it's like 2 days cruise, Martinique and whatever. Came back, pick up my phone from the drawer, and I see a couple voicemail messages. One of them was Puma Corporation. And Puma left a message, we're very interested in this location. By the way, what I say on the phone so you know is, hi, my name is Cherif Medawar. I have a property at 211 Cristo Street, Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, 00901. The property has 2,000 square foot approximately on the first floor retail. Second floor will be for office and storage. This is an area that has fantastic traffic coming from the cruise ships. It's a US territory. If you're interested, please call me at this number. I'll send you pictures or a video. And sure enough, they left me a voicemail message saying, we're very interested in the space. Please call me as soon as possible. This is the number or this number or this number. This gentleman from Puma Corporation called, said he's interested. I called him back. I was going to Los Angeles, so I was in the taxi going to the airport, to San Juan Airport, and he said, how much do you want? And I said, I want 20,000 a month, first, second floor. He said, 20,000, isn't that a lot? I said, think about it this way. If you're in a mall in the United States, every weekend you have to change what you have on display. But here in Old San Juan, you can keep the same display stuff on the windows. I am changing the customers for you. Every day, the cruises drop thousands of people. So you will pay 20,000 if you want it because you have no marketing cost. They were so excited. They said, okay, send us the LOI, letter of intent. Literally on the flight back to LA, I was filling out letter of intent. Puma Corporation, 10-year lease, 3% escalation, 20,000 a month, that's 240,000 a year. Triple net, that means the tenant pays taxes, insurance, and maintenance. By the way, do I have any taxes on these buildings? No. Do I look like a hero now? I'm including it, and I'm not going to charge them. So I always try to look good. But they pay the insurance, and they maintain the building. They came in, just to give you an example, the downstairs alone at $240,000, it will make the building value at 6%, $4 million. I'm buying the whole building at 3.5. So what I did is, as soon as they said, yes, we signed the letter of intent, we need to close to get in before the busy season, I called the bank. I said, how quickly can we close? Well, in 2006, believe it or not, you could close in 10 days. Today, if you close in 6 months, you should be celebrating. It's unbelievable, right? We closed very quickly. I separated the top floor, put it for sale, and I said, at appraised value, you appraise it, you make me an offer. I sold upstairs for $2 million, third floor of 211 Cristo. $2 million, the sale, we went to Western Bank, it was a bank here, and what happened is the buyers paid $2 million. We separated the building. It's called horizontal segregation. We separate, it's one deed for the whole property. I separated one deed, second deed, and a third deed. So they bought the third deed, which is actually a residential penthouse with beautiful views. They paid the $2 million. Apparently, I found out it appraised at $2.2 million. I didn't know, which is fine. So $2 million, we're at the Western Bank sitting, and the banker came to me. He said, look, we gave you the loan for the whole building, 3 floors, and we gave you the loan. They actually gave me, because the upstairs was separate, and downstairs, when I bought, the whole building was together, and downstairs alone with the Puma lease signed, I went to them, to the bank, and I said, look, they're ready to sign. We just need to close. How much will you give me? The bank gave me $3.5 million at the time. I had put $5,000 in escrow to close. I called the seller and I said, if I close sooner, because I have something I need to do inside the building, if I close sooner, would you pay the closing cost? He said, yeah, you're saving me a payment. Let's close. It cost me nothing. And I sold upstairs for $2 million. So I had a loan of 3.5. When I asked the bank, okay, now I'm going to sell for $2 million. How much of that $2 million you want to take to reduce my $3.5 million loan? You know what the bank told me? No. Is it okay with you if you cash out the $2 million and we keep the $3.5 million loan? Because we like the corporate guarantee of Google. Now, when you sign with these national companies that are publicly traded, there is a sheet that is attached to the lease that's called corporate guarantee. This lease is guaranteed by the entire corporation trading in the stock exchange under the exchange symbol of XYZ. Corporate guarantee worth $800 million. They don't care about Cherif Medawar's corporate guarantee. You're with me on this? I cashed out $2 million. I had a loan, the payment was $18,000. The tenant was paying me $20,000 and increase every year of 3%. Is that beautiful? It's so beautiful, it brings tears to my eyes. And that's how I cashed out $2 million. Can anybody guess what I did with the $2 million cash out? I give you choices. There were no cryptos, so would I go gamble? Would I get into the stock market? Or would I buy more real estate? Hence the growth in Puerto Rico. If I'm making money in Puerto Rico, I invest in Puerto Rico. Made money in California, moved it to Puerto Rico. California doesn't need me. I'm a very little player in California. Are you with me on how money is done here? You can make money with anything. Anywhere, there is nothing easier than making money in real estate if you have the knowledge, willing to spend the time, and have the right network. These are the three things. Have the knowledge, which I share. I have my education company, I share as much as I can. Willing to make the effort, like take the action, massive action, and don't get frustrated. Take it like a game. Like even with the lawsuits and all this, it sounds easy when I stand here, but we have lawsuits, we have tensions, we have situations, but it's part of the game. I enjoy the lawsuits. Hey, let's see what's going to happen in court. I wonder how the judge is going to look like. You know, I try to make fun with it, and it ends up working well, as evidenced by the fact that I'm here. I'm still growing. Now I'm growing at a lot lower pace. So what I do, I told you, I invest here. I have a real estate fund in California that focuses on high-end luxury homes. The fund is called Medawar, International Group Secured Income Fund. I've been in the real estate fund business since 2007. I teach people how to set up their own funds. I have a program that teaches people how to set up a syndication. In 5 days, I can have you set up with all the paperwork with my attorneys that file it with the Securities and Exchange Commission. You can be up and running to raise capital. And I even show you how to raise capital. I raised from the platform tens of millions of dollars for these luxury homes in San Francisco. And actually, I'll tell you the formula. It's so simple in San Francisco. I buy in Pacific Heights. Pacific Heights is a very small area that's exclusive. So we buy homes like $4 or $5 million a home. That's on the market. Like, I'm not looking for a distressed sale. I'm not looking for somebody down and out to take him some home. I'm looking for a multimillionaire who says, I just want out, I'm not going to fix anything. Okay, I'm going to buy your home for $4.5 million. We'll buy it. Take it $4.5 million. All we do is I buy the properties that I can expand the basement and add square footage. So if I'm going to take the basement and add 2,000 square feet of basement that becomes part of the luxury home, and it costs me maybe $500 a square foot, but it says that 1,500 square foot I already have $2 million profit from the downstairs, and upstairs another $1 million. So we buy, we sell. You can look up Mixif, MIGSIF.com. You will see I own the largest inventory of luxury homes in Pacific Heights, and these are about 100 million. We actually bought 2 properties that are impossible to buy. They're on Billionaires Row, 2725 Broadway Street, and across there's another street parallel to it, 2760 Vallejo Street. And what's amazing is the neighbors are the Getty Fund, the Getty Trust, 3 homes. Across the street from the other one is the owner of Oracle. I forgot his name, Larry Ellison, I guess. I mean, just these homes, we bought one at $9 million, the other at $10.5. We're going to put about $8 million in each. One would sell for about $30 million, the other $35 million. I've worked with the same crew that have been with me for 12 years in San Francisco, so it's not so difficult to be in Puerto Rico and do these deals. I love small deals. I love big deals. It's not the size of the deal that counts, it's the size of the profits. I've done even properties in Ohio's and all over. I used to buy them in bulk. But working in good areas and repeating the process through a business model makes your life easy. And if you're going to set up a real estate fund, show people your business model. They will come and join you. They will hand you the money. So I'll take some questions, but I want you to know, so what am I doing here now? So right now, I have programs where people fly in so I can give them training for a couple of days or so, and then they can go back do what I do in their own area. Or people can join me here in Old San Juan if they want to, like I have a couple of properties that could be turned into hotels. Of course, the hotel deals are the best because we get 40% tax credit. I was even chatting with Robbie. Robbie, you came, so good to see you. And he was talking about opportunity zones, which I'm glad he's going to talk about. The guy can never have enough of when he starts talking about opportunity zones. I was talking to another gentleman who left early about Fund 185. So you combine these things with the tax credit from the hotels, you can make a killing. I already own 2 of these properties. The one where First Bank used to be when you come into Old San Juan, that big building, and the other one where Diamond International is on San Justo Street and Fortaleza Street. Those are landmarks. You can't duplicate these buildings. I mean, appraisers come in and they're like, wow, this is amazing. And upstairs, they're being approved. They have been approved for 40% tax credit to do 30-room luxury on each. And hotels, 30-room luxury hotels, hotels can make you so much money. So much money. You can do timeshare, you can sell points now, you can condominiumize the whole thing and sell them as condos. It's just that the profits never end. So I would love for somebody, if anybody here is a contractor, engineer, or somebody want to partner up on these, who can do a joint venture, because I'm getting lazier as more income comes in from these buildings. Thank God we're doing very well with that. I mean, when you fix the buildings and you get good tenants, the rent comes in. We did a lot of Airbnbs, etc. Another thing I do, and I'm entertaining doing, is I could invest in your projects. But I'm very picky. And again, I'm telling you, I like mostly Old San Juan. To get me out of Old San Juan, it has to be an amazing area, like something beachfront, that's an incredible thing, and you will do all the work, and then I may even look into it closer. And thank God I have attorneys and all this that can analyze it and see if it will help you, and it will be helpful for me as well. So, any questions? Happy to take questions. Whatever you want to ask me, even if you want to insult me, you want to challenge me, I'm okay with everything. Yes, sir.
Yeah, on that building, you said you split it into 3 separate levels.
Yes.
You said you did something with the deeds. There's like is that fee
Yes.
simple? That's not condo?
Yes, so what happens when you're buying it, it's fee simple, one deed. You know, deed is the ownership of the property. Escritura in Spanish. So what happens is you go to an attorney, real estate attorney, and he or she hires an actual engineer or an architect. Engineer is a little less expensive, but they do the measurements. They go back to the attorney and say, these are the exact measurements for each floor. The attorney drafts a separate deed for each floor. So then you have deed 1, retails level 22, 42 square feet, and then entrance on the side, elevator inside, second floor has this. And then they write 3 separate deeds, and they go and they actually register in the city.
And that's not condo. That's fee simple.
That is condo. That is a condo regime.
Condo. Okay.
Yeah, so let's say you buy the second floor, I own the first floor, but Fidel here owns the third floor. So what we will have is the 3 of us are going to probably meet maybe once a quarter and say, hey Fidel, we're going to paint the front, you're okay, we're going to the facade, I'm going to get the paint, my friend here is going to paint it and it's going to cost us X. We agree, we do it. That's what we have to do. And that's what we did. And I ended up, by the way, through the years, ended up selling also the second floor, and now I have the first floor, and I just signed with a company called Fat Tuesdays. Their name sounds like they're going to sell something delicious, right? Fat Tuesdays, and they sign a 10-year lease with triple net with escalations. So what's good on day 1 becomes great on day 5, even greater on day 10. Yes, sir.
How correlated do you think the Puerto Rican real estate market is to the U.S. real estate market?
How what? I'm sorry?
Correlated.
How correlated? Actually, okay. So,
what do you think? What's your forecast for the Puerto Rican real estate market?
okay, so I can tell you, let me preface this by saying that the Puerto Rico real estate market will do incredibly well if the banks and the appraisers change. How many people agree with that statement, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you know, you're in the business, you're looking at that. You bring an appraiser, the appraiser is confused. I don't blame them. Like, you come to Old San Juan, you don't know the difference between Fortaleza Street and San Francisco Street, another street parallel to it. You see my point? Cristo Street and San Jose Street and San Justo, you don't know the difference. But I know the difference. There is a video on my website where I explain clearly why I bought on Tanca Street, Fortaleza Street, and Cristo Street. And the reason simply is, when people get off the cruise ship, they have a map given to them by the cruise director. And it says, here are our recommended stores. Why is the cruise ship recommending some stores? Anybody want to guess? Thank you, they're the ones advertising in them. So they're going to make a commission. The cruise will make a commission from that. So people get off and they go on Tanca, go on Fortaleza, go on cruise. You cannot come to Old San Juan, Puerto Rico and get off the cruise ship unless you walk in front of my buildings. So my tenants will benefit and I'll make money. That's the game about money, right? We didn't come to talk about spiritual things, right? I hope I'm not offending anybody, right? Of course, if you know how to be happy and how to stay healthy, then the money is the next game. So the key thing is, how is it correlated to the United States? I have noticed that particularly Old San Juan is isolated from the world a little bit, because if you look statistically, when people come to the island, number one visited location is Old San Juan. Number two, locals love Old San Juan. On the weekend, just come and take a look at this tenant that I brought into the corner building next to the governor's house, Anita Gelato. They stand in line. They stand in line. People love it. They love the experience. I was looking last weekend, 40% of my occupants in the Airbnb were locals. They love coming to spend time in Old San Juan because you have the beach, but then after that you want a little change. You want to go walk around and all this. So Old San Juan is isolated, hence my complete interest in it for generations to come. I mean, in my will, everybody with my last name will have to have a leg in Puerto Rico, and they better not sell a few buildings that I said, these are not for sale. You understand? Now, the United States real estate, there are some great locations, like I'm telling you, like California, the large cities, San Diego, Los Angeles, great Los Angeles, San Jose, San Francisco. You will be hard pressed to lose money. I mean, it's almost impossible. You have to really make a mistake on the timing or overpay for something to have to wait a little bit longer to make money. So if you know what you're doing, you'll make a lot of money there. You just have to learn to reduce your taxes. So this is a great area. Florida, east coast of Florida is on fire. Like Mario and I were talking, and he's looking for these retail buildings to put tenants and stuff, and he knows the program. Actually, he took the training, can talk to him. And just, I mean, you can find a space. But west coast of Florida, I do with my fund some deals there. And now that there was a hurricane there, a lot of people don't understand. Every time there is a disaster, what comes next?
Real estate investors.
Real estate investors and FEMA and big money. So lands, I was buying lands to do developments. I'm not crazy about developments, but this is so fast because now they're so anxious to approve the permits for the development that you get the land, 4 months later you're ready to break ground, and 4 months later you got the property. You're paying for the land not that much, you're done with the whole thing at 350 and it sells at 500. But the interest rate is so high. Cherif, how is it happening? That's what's happening. I'm just telling you. So you have to be very picky about the areas. I always say focus on an area, focus on a specific type, and understand the values. This way when an opportunity comes, you go from being scared to move forward to being scared not to move forward. Because if you have a job, you can get a 3% increase. But if you have a property, you can get it below market, do something, improve it, and then sell it at higher value. And in a few months, you can make a lot of money. Did I answer your question? It's a little bit disconnected from state to state, let alone from the island of Puerto Rico. And the good thing here is there are so many people coming more and more on Act 60, and they come in, and now the law changes a little bit. I think the government here was so anxious to bring people in, they were too generous. Too generous. Come in, don't do anything, and just come in, and we're going to give you free tax and all this. So, and by the way, it didn't take off until the gentleman, what's his name, the very wealthy billionaire, John Paulson, thank you. When John Paulson came in and they challenged him on CNBC and they said, this is unpatriotic of you to leave New York and save $1 billion in taxes and go to Puerto Rico. He said, well, why is it unpatriotic? Puerto Rico is part of the US. Well, so you mean to tell me that you're not going to... I'm following the law. And you can see that interview on YouTube. Just put John Paulson, put Puerto Rico tax haven. It's not a tax haven. It's a tax incentive. And now they changed it, and supposedly I heard some rumors that they will change it by next year to say, if you come in and don't invest at least $2 million in a commerce in a commercial endeavor here, you're going to pay 15% taxes. But if you will invest so much, you will get the 4% or the 0% tax. That's very good for real estate, guys, because if you have commercial buildings, you're going to now start selling at 6%. I'll tell you what else is missing in Puerto Rico that will make it extremely wealthy for real estate investors. We don't have 1031 exchanges. How many people know what 1031 exchange is? Okay, so those who don't know, when you sell a property in the US, let's say I bought a retail building at 800,000, put a big tenant, now it's worth $1.6 million. And I want to sell it a year later. When I sell it at $1.6 million, the government should come to me and say, you have 800,000 profit, Cherif, you have to pay capital gains. Or you just not sell and exchange. So when I'm going to sell it at $1.6 million, I have to roll the money into an equal or higher valued property. I have 45 days to identify up to 3 properties and another 135 days to roll the money forward. And I defer the taxes. Well, guess what? If I'm in California trying to roll the money to buy a property in Puerto Rico, what does the franchise tax board, and they say, no, no, sir, no, ma'am, you cannot do that. Why? It's US to US. And if you're selling here and you try to roll your money, they say, no, 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 you can't. You pay taxes. Well, what if I carry financing? Can I do it like California? I carry the financing, so I haven't realized the gain. No, you pay the gain, and if the note you carried, they paid you less or you discounted it, then we owe you money and we'll give you credit. Has anybody received any money from Hacienda? Never. You have credit and you better have some losses to go against the credit or some wins to get against it. It's unbelievable. So there are many ways for the market here to continue increasing. People who make the effort are very rewarded. People who team up together, like I've heard that this group, I mean, I'm sorry I did not know about this before. I love mingling and all this. My time is very tight. Time is the most valuable thing. I spend a lot of time with my kids. My daughter is 16. My son is turning 15 actually very soon. So I spend a lot of time with my kids. So it's very important to value your time, come in, mingle with the right people, network with the right people. It will make your action and your effort a lot less and make your knowledge expanded, and that's what we're doing here. More questions? Anything else? Tell me if I'm going over my time. I think I bored Zachary so bad he left. Any other questions? Happy to answer any questions you have. Sir? English.
Okay, so how do you work on not over leveraging?
Okay, how do you work on not over leveraging? Well, the bank does that for you. You tell the bank, today, I'm telling you now, fast forward to today. For the last 3 years, for example, as I go, what happened is Western Bank collapsed. Like here you could write a check and the bank bounces. You understand? So Western Bank went out of business in 2013. So they told Banco Popular, you take them over. So we went from 13 banks here to 7 banks to now 4 banks. So all of a sudden Banco Popular comes to me and they say, Cherif Medawar, you have too many buildings in Old San Juan. The market has collapsed. Everybody's in bankruptcy and repossession. How are you making your payments? We need to know right now. We don't understand. I said, because I do my deals in California. California is always profitable. No matter where the market goes, it's 14 miles, San Francisco, and it's all high-tech people. People 26 years old got millions. They want $5-6 million home. That's why you see money coming in. No, listen, Cherif Medawar, we would like you to pay off your loans. We're calling your loans. I had 21 million in loans at the time. We're calling your loans. How can you call my loans? I'm making my payments. It's 2013. Read your contract right here. And let me tell you, usually people here are very polite. Like even when they want to attack you, it's in a very nice way. Like they tell you to go to hell and make you look forward to the trip. You understand? Very nice way to. But this day they were very anxious. There were 4 ladies, 2 gentlemen, and everybody was like, Mr. Medawar, take a look at this clause right here. If the economic situation changes for the lender, for the borrower, or for the market, we have the right to call the loans. We're calling your loans. I said, do I have time to do anything? I'm like, I'm in shambles now. I'm like, I can't even believe it. They said, well, update us in 90 days. If not, we're going to start moving to take the buildings. So I went and thank God, Santander Bank said, we're very interested in the portfolio. We'll refinance it for you. I don't know if this is still working. I think the battery died. So I outlasted the everlast. Robert, hopefully you have a good voice when you come on. So what happened is I ended up refinancing with Santander Bank. And as I built rapport with Santander Bank, they were much more conservative because they have seen the market collapse in 2012 and 13. And then what happened is after Santander Bank was doing fine with me, 3 years ago, we heard that First Bank is going to take them over, and all of a sudden, I had options. Like, you know how I bought a lot of buildings in Old San Juan? Let's say these are buildings. These gentlemen own different buildings next to each other. I would go to Jeff and say, Jeff, you want to sell your building? Jeff says, well, I'm not sure, Cherif. Maybe if I sell it, I'll get $2 million, but not now. Jeff, here's $100,000 option, non-refundable. Whenever you want to sell it, come to me. Is that okay? He said, oh my God, this guy's an idiot. Okay, I'll take your money, Cherif. And I write an option for $100,000. And then what happens is, we're going to appraise it when you're ready to sell. And I do the same with Fabian, same with Fidel, and so on with everybody that was next to each other. That's how I ended up with buildings where I wanted. I gave them money, non-refundable. And then all of a sudden, the bank said, we're calling your loans. Not only do I have to pay off loans, I can even exercise my options if people want to get out. It was a very difficult time. But then I was able to actually try to work it out by telling people, let's say Jeff now calls me and says, I'd like you to exercise the option, here's my 90 days notice. I said, listen, I'll give you an extra 50,000 if you give me an extra 90 days. See my point? Money can buy you time, and if you have good relationship with people, you can work it out. And Santander came in, refinanced for me, gave me some money out because I had a lot of equity, and I started buying some more. As the economy collapsed, I started growing some more. And then when First Bank was going to take Santander said, when I had options, oh, we can give any loans, but give us a little time, 6 months, we're going to start giving you loans. They couldn't give me loans. And that's when I talked to my investors in the fund in San Francisco. I said, would you be interested in coming into Puerto Rico? And of course, I've heard me talk about Puerto Rico for years. You can see me on YouTube walking around the streets. I have a full-time videographer filming me, etc. And everybody said, yeah, let's do it. So then I ended up buying some more. Then the hurricane happened in 2017, and everybody wanted to sell. I remember I'm walking on Fortaleza. I kid you not. I'm just walking, and there was nobody. There was water on the streets. And I thought to myself, Warren Buffett said, when there is blood on the streets, that's when you should what? Move forward. That's when you should invest, as long as it's not your blood. But I said, this is not even blood, this is water. So this guy was walking by, his name is Hugo, and I said, Hugo, how are you? He said, oh, my wife is mad at me, she's in the hotel. She said, I'm not in the hotel all day long, I don't know what you're going out there doing, I want to sell the hotel. I said, I'll buy it. And I told this guy, I'll buy. Bought 7 buildings between September, when the hurricane happened. All these people that wanted out, they said, buy my building. So I bought 7 buildings. Everybody thought I was crazy. The bank took me to dinner right before Christmas and asked me, are you okay? Are you full faculty of your mind? You understand what you're doing? I'm like, yes. What do you see that we don't see? There is one Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas. I discovered Old San Juan. And they laughed. Today, they come to me like, how much money do you want? But it's still very conservative money. Very difficult. So I'm buying a building, let's say, for $1 million. If you find one in Old San Juan for $1 million. But let's say I'm buying for $1 million, they'll say, we'll give you $650,000. But the beauty is, when you take it for $1 million, and you separate, and you make the Airbnb, and you bring the big tenants downstairs, it's worth $1.5 million. So we always work it out, and it has been a blessing. Any other questions, or can I turn it over to Robbie? So if you want to reach me for any reason, you'll find my email address here. Best form of communication is my email, sherifmedawar@yahoo.com. Again, you'll see a lot of my videos, so a lot of free trainings. I will do my best to show up in another event if I'm so invited. If not, I think I can wrap it up. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Cherif. That was great. I don't know why I'm using this microphone. It doesn't work.
Yes,
Hey, Robbie's here.
Hey, guys.
Robbie Krager, you want to come up and you can come up if you want. Come up to the stage so the camera sees you. The Zoom. We got a live stream up here. He's going to chat about the OZ fund. Island Paradise. Want the microphone?
I was supposed to.
The microphone? Does it work?
No.
All right.
Yeah, so thank you, Zachary. We're sponsoring this now, right?
Yeah.
And we launched a fund, Island Paradise. So it's an opportunity zone fund, which we believe is the single greatest wealth builder of our lifetime. We talked about 1031 exchanges a little while ago and the fact that we don't have them. No one should be doing them anyways. If you know anybody who's about to do a 1031 exchange, tell them stop. Don't do that. Not at least until you look into opportunity zones. Opportunity zones on this island are 98% of the island. So basically the whole island outside of Old San Juan is an opportunity zone. And what an opportunity zone does for you and why it's such a great wealth builder is that you take these dollars that you've just got, so you've got a capital gains, and you defer your capital gain, you invest into an opportunity zone fund, and you don't have to pay your capital gain that you owe today until 2026, and you get to take all of the money that's invested and make money on it for the next few years before you have to pay your capital gain. You also get to depreciate the assets that you're invested in, so you'll be able to pay off your capital gain through the depreciation. You leave your money in the opportunity zone for 10 years, and then when you liquidate, you get a step up in basis to current market value, which will be your sales price at that time, and you'll pay no gain at all. So 1031 exchange has always been a great way to defer taxes, right? So you keep kicking the can down the road, but eventually the government comes calling and gets your money. With opportunity zone fund investing, it's an actual complete tax avoidance, tax deference with the 1031 exchange, complete tax avoidance with an opportunity zone funds investment. So that's why I say it's the best wealth builder of our lifetime. And you get to live in Puerto Rico here. 98% of the island is this opportunity zone. So if you have a capital gain, you want to be investing in this. But anywhere, I mean, Tennessee, they've got them all over the U.S. They're just phenomenal. It's just the best gift that we've ever been given as far as creating wealth. So our idea with IDQOZB is that we invest in hospitality assets, and hospitality assets using Act 60 in Puerto Rico will allow you to get a 40% of your total investment costs back in the form of tax credits. So let me say it again, guys. You buy something for $1 million in an opportunity zone using capital gains money that you don't pay taxes on now. You then spend another $1 million, so now you're in for $2 million, but you get 40% back, so you get $800,000 back. You completely de-risk your asset. You get early cash flow, and you're buying A+ area in Puerto Rico because 98% of the island is an opportunity zone. So, I mean, there's just so many beautiful parts of what I'm talking about, and to do it in 2 minutes, I can't do it justice. But Island Paradise, we invest in hospitality assets, so we like buying A+ properties, turning them into hospitality, hotels. Hopefully we do a lot of that on the ocean or within a walking distance to the ocean, or on this Juan Ponce de Leon where we believe we're going to have massive upside. So we're buying A+ area and opportunity zones using Act 60 to get 40% tax credits. Nowhere else in the country that I'm aware of can even come close to touching that kind of strategy. So if you're interested in our fund, we've got 5 assets that we currently own that we will be renovating and then operating for the next 10 years. We offer a 8 pref, and I think our IRR is with debt. It's embarrassing to say. I'll send you the PPM. It's really just too high to say. No one will believe me. But we're going to do phenomenally well. So we're inviting anybody who is interested in looking at that to reach out to me, and we'll get you the PPM and let you look at it, and we can discuss it further. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You got questions? Sure.
What's the deal makers breakfast?
What about the Deal Makers Breakfast Club? So the Deal Makers Breakfast Club, have you guys all been to Deal Makers yet? And every Saturday morning, most everybody's been there. We've been doing it at the house, but I accidentally sold my house. And so now we're doing it. Oh, now we're doing it at your place, Bill's place, at Bill Halleck's office over in Hatoré. So Deal Makers is at 7:30 in the morning every Saturday, every single Saturday. We don't even take Christmas off. And a bunch of crazy people come, and sometimes Andy cooks some really good breakfast. But now that it's not at my house, maybe not. But we sit around and we talk about deals. We partner on things. We're kind of deal junkies. So if you haven't been, please come. And if you haven't met me before, I invite everybody to talk to me about partnerships. That's kind of our MO. That's how we've scaled our business, is that we invite people to partner. I've partnered with Adon, I've partnered with Zachary, I've partnered with Bill, I've partnered with Kia. I mean, lots and lots of people in the room, Imran. So anyways, yeah, that's it. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys, we love our sponsors. If you do want to sponsor this meeting and highlight, any of your products or services, let us know, and you can have some time to speak to the group. We're also going to do needs and wants really quick. If anyone has a personal need or want, come up here, take the microphone, and share. Anyone? Everyone? No? We're good? All right, guys. So remember, next meeting is going to be on the third Thursday because of Thanksgiving. We're going to have Infinite Banking, I believe they're called. So, all right, guys. If you want to be a part of the WhatsApp group, make sure to get the QR code. Not that one, another one. The QR code for the deal makers in the WhatsApp groups, or hit me up and I can get you that. All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.